Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Wes.
And I'm Kyle.
And this is the Treasure Valley Max Media Podcast.
Hey guys, so I am interviewing Wes today, just trying to figure out a little bit about who he is and what he's doing. So, first question is, who are you?
I'm Wes Tankersley. I am a blind salesman. I actually can see, but I sell window coverings. I work for Blind Appeal Window Coverings. That's kind of how I got started, kind of got into this, kind of had aspirations to get into this podcast thing with Kyle here. We met off of LinkedIn, where I post pretty much daily, more than one time, a lot. Ask Kyle, that's how he found me.
He was like at the top of the newsfeed every day.
And that's what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do with this podcast is, it's called Treasure Valley Max Media, because what we want to do is we want to maximize your social media. We want to maximize your way of marketing, and we want to help you do that. So at no charge, because we think that businesses are successful based on that. We want you to be successful. We want to be successful, and we can network together to make that happen.
Yeah. So going a little bit deeper about who you are, tell us about your journey this far.
As far as the social media stuff, or
personal, social media, a little bit of everything.
Okay. So let's see here. I'm 39. I grew up in Ontario, Oregon. Well, let's back up a little more. I'm actually from the state that everyone doesn't like, which I think is stupid, but I'm from California. We moved from California when I was 10. I ended up living in Ontario, Oregon. My parents wanted to move us away because they couldn't afford to send us to private school, and it was getting a little crazy down there. And this was 29 years ago, so you can imagine how uncrazy it was, but how the world is getting. And then we moved to Ontario. I went to school there, graduated high school there, got a scholarship to play football. I was a pretty good athlete in high school. I played 3 sports. I was only really good at one. And then I moved to... I was supposed to go to school to go to college to go play football at Southern Oregon University, and ended up not doing that. And went down to California to go hang out with my grandmother for the summer before I was supposed to go, and ended up meeting my wife, and we got married. And then we moved up to University of Idaho. Mm-hmm. I went there for a little while, ended up working at Les Schwab full time, did that for 11 years. And then I hurt my knee pretty bad, went back to college. Got a degree in teaching, and taught physical education, PE, for 4 years, and coached for 4 years, coached baseball, which I love baseball. I wasn't very good at it, but I coached it because it was my favorite sport, still is my favorite sport. People think it's boring, but I don't agree with them. So that's all right. One of the things I love about baseball, you'll hear if you watch some of my videos, is that it is like the game of life. It's like failure happens, but to be a really good baseball player, they talk about batting averages and things like that. You got to have a 300 batting average and you're really good. So what does that mean? 3 times out of 10 you fail, and so you got to figure it out. And that's really what really drew me to baseball, is that everything in life is kind of like, I heard someone say, it's like putting a bunch of base hits together to score and win a game. And that's kind of how I look at it. So I did that. I taught for 2 years at a middle school in Marsing, Idaho, small little town, and then moved over to Middleton High School for 2 years. I didn't teach PE the first year, but I did the second year. Got a job there teaching PE and coached baseball. And then as I was doing this, I got my master's degree in education, and realized that there was no way that I was ever going to pay my student loans back. I wasn't really happy with the education system, and I met my current boss, Frank, and he gave me a job as a salesman, which it's 100% commission, but I trusted in my ability to be a salesman, and ended up doubling my pay so far. But really what got me into it was I had a slow month, and when I had this slow month, I was like, what am I going to do to make this better? And I had talked to my boss about social media marketing. He helped me a little bit. He gave me a little bit of money. I worked with a friend, Christian Hill, at Aggressive Advertising, and he put together some commercials for me for Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I had an Instagram page attached to it, but I didn't really do anything on Instagram. And I found that Instagram is like my niche, like where it's at, where I can connect with the most people. And when I started, I had my own personal page, and then I started a Wes at Blind Appeal page, and I had like 230 followers. And then I had this bad month. And I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? How am I going to make it work? And I was trying to gain followers and things like that. And I ran into this barber of all people, because for some reason, there's this attraction with barbers. Like, I go get my hair cut once a month, and I always run into these guys, and they always are awesome. And the guy goes, hey, have you ever, because we were talking about like trying to get more business for me. He's like, have you ever listened to Gary Vee? And I'm like, no. He goes, you need to go read this book called Crush It. I'm like, okay. Just kind of whatever. And then a couple days later, I downloaded the book and I started reading it. And I didn't read the whole thing. I've read parts and pieces of it. But as I started reading through it, I started realizing there's all these people that are doing what Gary talks about. And Gary's like introducing you, hey, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that and blah, blah, blah. And I just started seeing like how he was creating success for people. And I started thinking about how I was a teacher, but I liked aspects of teaching, but I just didn't like being in the school setting. And there's a way that I can help other people. And that really like spurred me. And it started out as trying to make money. That was the big thing. It was like, I'm going to make money by doing this. I'm going to post all the time. And like, if you go back and you watch, because now I have like over 40 videos, because I've done one a day for the last like 2 months. And that's just part of what I post. Which I think that's what I think you saw a couple of those. Yeah. And then you see them all the time now, because I don't quit. But that's really what, being consistent is one of the things that Gary talks about. And so that's where I've been, is being consistent completely in everything that you do. So anyway, it turned into more, it turned into a lot. I started networking with people. People started contacting me and asking me stuff like, what are you doing? Where's this going? Blah, blah, blah. And then I got a job offer. I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, I don't, I'm not going to say no to someone, but I would really like a chance to, to like network, because I think that's really what this is about. We're trying to network. We're trying to introduce people to other people to make it successful.
Just build your brand and build awareness around who you are and
what
you're doing.
Yeah. And that's really what it boiled down to, is this is where things started clicking for me, as I was like, Gary's like, you're building a brand. You're not selling a product. You are selling that product, but what you're doing is you're learning who you are. You're trying to figure out, people buy from you. And it was great. Like this morning I had the pest control guy came over, and we're going to do an interview with him. I haven't told Kyle that yet, but we're going to. So anyway, his dad has come, he worked for Sinsky. They come and they spray bugs. My wife's like deathly afraid of spiders. And so they come and they
wife happy.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear her screaming. I'm the one who has to clean it up. I don't like spiders either, but I'm the one who has to take care of it. So anyway, why not just do some preventative maintenance? And so Jacob Huerta, his dad Mario, has sprayed our house for Sinsky for a long time, and Sinsky I wasn't real excited about the way that they started going. And sorry, UPS guy just drove by. You'll know me after you start watching a while. I'll be turning all the time trying to figure out what's going on. ADD or something, I don't know. But anyway, Jacob came and he sprayed our house this morning. We're talking, and it just like, he's like, yeah, it's going all right. I've wanted more and more to happen or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I just started talking about what we're doing, like how we're going to get this podcast going, how we're going to help people expand their business. And he's like, I don't really have a big social media presence, and I don't really know how to go about it. And that's really what it is. I mean, that's why you contacted me, That's why we started talking.
Collaborating and growing it all together.
Yeah, and that's really what it is for me. It's like, it's turned into more for me than that, and we've talked about that. Like, I have found that I really want to talk to people. I really want to be like a motivational speaker, and that's the long-term goal here. But I'm going to use everything that I have to make my business successful, but also grow myself as a person. And that's really what it is. And I find like inspiration in people like Kyle. We've got another friend, Darius, who are really trying to figure that out. And I don't know everything, and Kyle doesn't know everything, but neither does Darius or anyone else that we deal with. But we are using what strengths we have to create something that's successful and help other people be successful. And, I'm 39. I don't have a ton of technology stuff. And we've been working on this podcast for a while, trying to get it going. And we're just like, the only thing that's holding us back is just doing it. We finally figured out what we need to do. And so that's really where it's at. Like, this is another way to get content out. So, we just want to punch ahead forward and get more and more out there. And I have posted on tons of platforms, and that's really what I'm doing. And this is just one more avenue to get my name out there, to help people like Kyle, for Kyle to help people like me. We want to help people. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. That's what it's about, is making other people successful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's kind of a long answer for a short question.
No, you're good. So the next question is, what do? You kind of hit on that for a while. So you do blind sales, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sell blinds. Basically what I do is I have a truck out here that's got all my samples in it and everything like that. They call the office. If they call the office, I get, a certain amount. If they call me, I get more. And so that's kind of where this kind of went into the blind sell, is to generate my own leads so that I can generate more income.
Yeah.
And so anyway, what they do is, once that happens, I go out to your house, I measure your windows, I show you some selections, you choose what you want, we order them, and then if you want to buy them, which I really hope you do want to buy them. So, but that's beside the point. Everyone's trying to sell a product, and that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing. But at that point, then we come out, our installers, once they show up, our installers install them, and we do it. It's a really simple, easy process. And there's so much new growth in Boise and the Treasure Valley, which is where we really want to market this podcast and everything else that we're doing. So, but that's the thing. It's like everything's growing. There's plenty of pie out there for everyone. I've said that multiple times on my platforms. It's like we got this whole big pie, and everyone's always worried about everyone's going to take your business. And there's so much business out there. You don't really have to worry about someone taking your business. You just have to be the best salesman.
Yeah, and there's going to be that little old lady that's dealt with so-and-so, and they're not happy with it, but the second that they find out about you or what you're doing, they're going to contact you, and, then you'll get that client, that client that didn't deserve to be treated the way that they were treated in the past.
Right.
So it all kind of works out in the end.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I think we all worry and concern ourselves with what everyone else is doing, and if we just concern ourselves with what we're doing, we're going to be fine. Because if you have it in you to work as hard as you can, and you're honest and you forthright with people, it's going to happen. Yeah, people are going to buy from you. People are going to want to deal with you. And it's just like I was saying, like with Mario, he's like, if you're not happy with Sinski, the way that things are happening, maybe you should find someone else. And I happened to find someone else, and I was having Mario do it because Mario was doing it. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter if Mario works at another pest place. Mario's the dude, so he would be the one doing it. I'm not having Sinski do my work. I'm having Mario do my work. Just like you're calling Blind Appeal, but you're actually asking for me because you know me and you want me to do the work.
Yeah, so where do you see all this kind of going? What do you expect to get from this?
Yeah, for me, like I was talking about, this is really like, I really want to help people. I also want to be the person who is talking to other people about this, how to do the process, how to make it happen. I honestly feel like it morphed into something that I didn't think it would at first. And I feel like I've changed the way that I think about a lot of things. And I have a lot of positive influence to bring to people. And so really what I want is I want to be a motivational speaker at some point. And what I'm doing now is kind of the fuel, and it's going to help me keep going. And I've had this conversation with my boss a couple times, and we've talked about how, he goes, I'm going to try and hold on to you as long as I can. And whatever happens, happens. And if that does happen, because I have had a lot of people reach out to me and talk to me about it and wanting, like, what are you doing? How are these things going? I see you on social media all the time. So people are seeing me. When we did that interview event the other day, it got the most views out of any of the videos that I've done. I mean, I usually get, and it's not a lot, but I get about 80 views on each video that I do. And we've got over 160 on Vinny's. And so I know that there's people that are interested in this, and that we can help people be motivated to do this, help them learn how to get on social media, get out of their comfort zone. But like with the marketing group that we're talking about doing, it's more about, hey, you can do it. If you need some help, we can help. You need me to talk for you, I can talk for you. I need you to do, like Darius is going to be doing the editing on the podcast and on all that stuff. He's doing that stuff. Well, I'm not good at that. Kyle can do it. I mean, I can do it too, but Darius knows how to do it, and he has interest in it, and he wants to keep working on it, and that's what we're doing. I mean, that's where it's at. It's like, use everyone's strengths for where they're at, and then if they have a weakness, then that person will complement that strength. And we'll be strong together instead of just being strong as one.
Yeah. So how do you stay motivated by posting every single day? Because you're on top of your stuff. Like I've tried to keep up with you, but you're on it.
It's I think what you have to do is you have to kind of get creative, which I never thought I was a creative person. Yeah. But like once I started this process, like I started doing it, and then things started just kind of rolling. Like I mean, I looked at it as, okay, that guy contacted me, said, hey, I really like what you're talking about, and I'd like to offer you a job. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm going to weigh the options. I'm not going to say, hey, no, I'm not going to do it. But what do you have to offer me that's more than what I have? Because that's really what it's about. We're trying to get ahead in life, right? And a big motivator for me is to pay off my student loans that I created going to college to get 2 degrees that I really wasn't happy about. So I'm trying to be happy, and I am happy, but I would be a lot happier if I had that paid off, so I didn't have that hanging over me to think about every single day. And so it started out as that, but now it's like I'm finding, like, as I started to realize that it was about happiness and what I can do to make myself be happy, I started unlocking things that I hadn't done before. Like, I mean, I draw. I mean, you find stuff like,
you're actually really good too.
it's getting better, but I had like a 6th grade teacher one time told me, like, she caught me cheating one time. If you can't see it, there's a glass coffee table right here, but we had a glass coffee table in our house, and I stuck a light underneath and I traced a B. And she's like, if I catch you cheating one more time, I'm going to give you another F, and I'm going to send you to the principal's office. I'm like, great, here we go. So now I got to try and be creative. So she's like, she started handing out, because we had the sketchbook every week, and the B was the one week. Well, the next week she handed out cartoons. And so I started drawing, like, I could copy the cartoons really well, which is what I'm doing. Nothing is like 100% my thoughts or anything like that. It's like, I really like drawing Snoopy. I drew Snoopy this morning, and I like Marvel and DC and things like that. So I've been drawing those things and then just kind of putting inspirational messages with them. But I mean, that's really what it is. It's like, she told me I was good at that. She told me I should be a graphic artist, and I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go do something else. Yeah. And then
full circle.
Yeah, it came back and it was like, hey, I was good at doing that, so I'm just going to try it again. Yeah. And I'm inspired all the time. Like, one of the things that is way out of my realm right now, and I just get on there you start looking through it, like, is TikTok. Everyone's like, TikTok's a big thing. And when I was teaching last year, I had students that were leaving class and they were posting on TikTok. That's what they were doing. They were making these TikTok videos. And I'm like, really? Should you be doing this? First of all, I probably shouldn't be like saying that it's okay for you to do that, because where are you going to go take these videos? And we're in a gym. You're going to go in the locker room. You're going to do something stupid. I'm going to get in trouble. I mean, whatever. So stop. Yeah. And you can tell them to stop, but they won't stop. So it doesn't really matter. But then I started watching them, and I'm like seeing all these people are just talking. And it's not about, there are some really creative people on there, and they're doing some awesome stuff. I don't know that I have it in me yet, and I'll figure it out. Like, I'm still kind of too cool to dance or sing or do anything like that.
Yeah, TikTok's a difficult platform to stay super relevant, but I mean, there's tons of different little niches, and we're figuring it out. But
and that's the thing, like, finding that creativity, and it really, like I said, it unlocked. I mean, it's like I have all this stuff flowing through me now, and it's like I have like a routine. I think that's just great for me. It works for me, and I really say develop a routine because it's good for you. But like, I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but there's plenty of time in the day. Like, I hear people say all the time, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, that's a bunch of BS. You got plenty of time. You have to make the time to make it happen. And
it's all about priorities. It's not about the time. It's about what makes the priorities to become a part of your day.
Right. And if you're not happy with what's going on in your life, the one sure way to make that happen is to do more work. I mean, that's all there is to it. If you can sit there and you can complain about it, or you can do something about it. And that's really where I got to the point where I was done complaining. I had enough, because all I did was complain. Why is so-and-so getting this? And why is so-and-so getting that? And why does he have more leads than I do? And why am I not making as much money as he is? Well, one of the things was it's a new thing, and I don't have residual customers and people that keep calling me back. Another thing is like I had this insecurity about myself that I wasn't getting what was mine. And once I decided that I have no control over everyone else's stuff, I have control over what I could do, things got better.
Yeah.
I started making more business. I started having more customers. It unloaded. And that's really what it is. That's what keeps me motivated, is every time I see, and I did a video yesterday about like golf, because for golf, for me, is like, I love golf. I suck at golf. But you play 18 holes of golf and you get one good shot and you're like, I'm going back. I'm going to go. That's why I'm here. And that's what it is. It's like, I get one person who says something to me. The other day I had a person contact me and said, hey dude, I love your videos. I've been watching them. It really has made me think about my own personal life and what I'm doing. And I was going, wow, there it is. That's it. That's that carrot. And I get one of those a week. And that's what keeps me motivated. That's what makes it keep going. And I wake up in the morning, I throw on Gary Vee's podcast. That's the first thing I do. I listen to that. And then I've been listening to Lewis Howes, which is another dude that Gary has in his book that we talked about. If he's got something, Gary posts every day. So it is repetitive. It's kind of the same stuff. And we talked about that. But for me, it it hits home, and I get something almost out of every single one. Yeah. Where it keeps me going. It's like, and consistency is key to me. And I talk about that a lot, because if you're consistent in what you're doing, if you're continually posting, and it's kind of funny because it is really like, I'll wake up Monday morning, and one of the things that you hear people complain about Monday, and it's just another day, you know? And so that's why when you asked me the other day, like, do you post on the weekends too? It's like, I don't as much, but I do. You know? I mean, it's a little different content on the weekends because I'm doing things that I want to do.
And a little bit more fun.
Yeah. But. So I like to barbecue, and that's what you saw most of my posts were about yesterday. And people are drooling, and I'm okay with that because it makes me feel good. And I love that barbecue.
So good though.
It was good. Y'all have to show you that book, because there's this book, this guy that I found on Instagram. The door's just open, you know? I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't know a lot of these people, but they know who I am. And if I can continue to change that or get my face in their mind or whatever, that's what it is. It's like, get them knowing who we are and spread the word, because we want to help people.
Yeah. Nice.
So.
Nice. So I guess, how do you find your content? I guess you kind of talked about just being creative and getting out there a little bit more. Yeah.
So, a lot of it, it's funny because I tell you that I listen to those podcasts every morning, and I'll listen to them, and they'll say something. Like this morning, I think I can't remember because I post so much, but like one of them it was about consistency. So I started thinking about that, like I got my routine, I'm up, I'm drinking coffee, take the dog out, all that stuff that I'm doing. And as I'm listening to them, I'm hearing things that are like kind of like trigger words for me, like what can I get out of this? What can I use out of this? And consistency is one. So Gary has this thing that he put out. It's like, and I had been copying him already anyway. Like I was like, what's this guy doing? Because it's work, so I'll copy it. Like, so I saw him, he would take a tweet, and then he'd take a screenshot of a tweet, and then he'd post that screenshot on Instagram. And then, every platform is a little different, but you could cross post everything that you had. So I was already, you post it on Instagram, it goes to Facebook. So if I made a tweet and then I posted it on Instagram, it would go to Facebook. So there's 3 pieces right there. And Gary's always preaching 50 a day. Yeah. So I think of a tweet, and then once I get that, I'll put it up, and then I'll cross post it to all 4 of those. So it'll go on LinkedIn, it'll go on to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So there's 4, right? And then say I make a video. So I'll make a video, I'll post it to all 4 of those, and I'll post it to YouTube as well. And so you just, when he says, hey, you got to have 50 a day, it's really like, it's 5 times, because you can move it and you can change it. And that's really what it is. That's how, the idea is to keep it rolling. And that's what it is. And so I'll come up with that, and then I'll start thinking about that stuff throughout my day. So like, I've been thinking about being consistent today, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, how I can talk about it. And it's always just in my head, like, that's my topic of the day, you know, like that's what I'm working on today. Yeah. And so I'll just look for that. Like, other things I'll do is like, we're talking about consistency. I'll go on Google and I'll click consistency quotes. And I'll read through the thousands of consistency quotes that there are. And I'll find one that really resonates with me. I'll take a screenshot of it. I'll post it on Instagram, and I'll write something on the top. Hey, this is why this means what it means to me. And then again, post it across the platforms. I mean, you do that 5 times, you got what? 25 pieces right there. You know, you do a video, you got 5 more. So it really is, it's just doing it. And what the idea behind the whole deal is getting it to show up in your feed at the top every day. So just so everybody knows, I'm pushing LinkedIn pretty hard, and every single time I logged in, he was at the top. And then I'd scroll down, and he's at the 3rd, in the 5th, in the 7th spot, and no one else is posting. It's crazy. It was crazy. Like, I didn't even know this guy. I was like, what is he sells blinds? Like, but he was like constantly in my face about, and then I was like, man, well, do I need blinds? And I was like, I mean, I guess we just bought a house, but, and then, so I was listening to some of his content about creating this marketing group, or media group, and so I reached out to him just kind of see what it was about, and that's kind of how we connected. But it was because he was in my face all the time on LinkedIn. It was pretty crazy. It was like, 2 weeks straight, and I didn't see anybody else's content but yours. Yeah. And it's funny because I'll tell you what, like I told you I think I told you this on Saturday, but like the networking type stuff that's come from LinkedIn, you never know what it's going to be. And when you contacted me, I'm like, is he offering me a job? What are we getting coffee for? Why are we doing it? And I don't ever like to ask, because I would rather have that face-to-face conversation. Yeah. And then when you ask me what I was doing, like how I was doing what I was doing, like my face just kind of lit up, or at least in my mind, my face lit up, because it was so exciting to me, because what I was doing was working, and people want help that way. And so, I mean, that's that motivating moment. That's that I'm on that par 3 and I hit 2 feet from the pin moment right there. Yeah. That makes me want to go golfing again. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Nice. Well, I think that basically wraps it up. So me interviewing Wes here, and really appreciate you guys tuning in. We will keep pumping these out. These first 2 are going to be me interviewing Wes and Wes interviewing me. But then from there, we're going to keep finding new and unique businesses in the Treasure Valley that we want to promote and talk to them and learn about their business, and really start pumping out this content. And you're going to find this on YouTube. You'll find it on, you'll see our podcast too, because we're going to post it wherever wherever you find podcasts. But we're going to post it on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. We'll cross-post everything that we do too. So like if we interview you, it's going to get cross-posted onto Instagram, onto LinkedIn, onto Facebook. Wherever we post, that's where it's going. Yeah. And right now there's 3 of us. The idea is, there's 4 of us technically. Vinny's kind of in there. He kind of wants to do his own thing too, but he wants, we're helping each other out. And so that's what it's about. We're helping people out, Vinny's got a great barbershop that we want to punch. We're going to interview him on the podcast. We're going to interview my boss. We're going to interview Jacob today, who sprayed my house, because I talked to him a little bit. And then Kyle's got some people too, but we're just going to keep finding people to interview, and we're going to promote this small business in the Treasure Valley, because we want to give back. That's really what it's about. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. We will catch you guys later. See ya.